a linebacker play in our system here for defending the Flexbone. Our Mike linebacker in our base call, so stack Tower City, he's almost always going to be an A-gap or dive player. But you can plug him with a blitz or you can let him read the B-back. Either way, we aligned him tighter to the line of scrimmage to let the money backer play at about 6 yards. And what I found is how you play him should depend on the type of player or the skill set that he has. If he's really good at diagnosing a play and reading, let him read the first step of the B gap. And that would also correlate to if you have a nose guard that's really going to punish the center, let the nose guard reset the line of scrimmage and then let that Mike read the steps of the B gap. Now, if you do that, if you have your Mike linebacker read the B back, we would have our money backer reading the turn of the quarterback. Now, a lot of times, the turn of the quarterback and the step of the B back are going to be the same. And so it's going to put our money backer and the Mike linebacker reading the same direction, okay, which is what you would want. Now, if they're running belly or rocket, though, having those two guys read different players helps us balance out the defense because that quarterback is going to reverse pivot and open up a different way than the B-back is going. If your Mike is not as good at diagnosing the play, maybe he's a young kid, maybe it's just not his strong suit, you can utilize a plug blitz with him. We did this a lot in our first game last season because we had some inexperienced Mike linebackers and we just wanted them attacking. Okay, so I called what our blitz was called blast, and so I called blast a lot, and it shot both the nose and the Mike linebacker through the A gap. Another plus of blitzing him in the A gap is that it gets him moving. And we found that if we didn't blitz him or scrape exchange him behind a stunt, it's easier for him to get caught in the wash. So I have two clips here that are going to show the Mike first reading the steps of the B back, and then I've got another clip that's going to show the blitz that we called blast. All right, so if we watch the Mike linebacker here, number 44, he's reading the B-back on this one. Okay, and so he scrapes to the side that he steps and gets in on that tackle. Okay, on this one, this is a younger player for us. It's later in the game, and so we're getting this kid some looks inside. I called blast, and so this is a predetermined blitz for him. He knows that he's blitzing the A gap that I tagged, and he was a good blitzer. So that's another thing to consider too when you're building your call sheet or you're game playing for an opponent. If you've got a kid that's a really strong blitzer, and if he's your Mike, blast for us was a really good call. The thing we'd like to see him do here is not bury himself into the guard because the play is going away. What we would have liked to see is him break off and then chase flat. And then essentially he's another defensive lineman who would have a good chance for a TFL if he could chase it flat here. So if you watch him, he gets kind of tied up in this guard. And he's physical with him. He drives that guard back, which is great, but really not the purpose of this blitz. We would want him to not engage with the guard, shoot that A gap, and play was going away, so we would have wanted him to chase that one flat. All right, our money backer keys the open of the quarterback, and he runs the inside banana, and really he's the cleanup guy. He looks to, if the dive sneaks through, he's going to tackle the dive. If the quarterback gets by, he's going to tackle the quarterback, and he works last to the pitch. He has the B-back in the flats against the waggle. Okay, so off of that rocket toss, since he's reading the turn of the quarterback, if they were running waggle off of that rocket, let's say that this is the guy that goes in motion, well, he's going to turn and open up here. The B-back will open as a flats. So if my money backer reads the key or the turn of the quarterback, he's going to step this way, and he knows to work towards the B-back in the flats there. And so, like I said, we try to keep his keys opposite of the Mike so that we essentially are playing with two Mike linebackers in there. We liked having that money backer key, the turn of the quarterback. It was kind of hard for him to see the B-back is how I stumbled into that. I actually kind of came up with that on accident, but we were installing this and my money backer was like, oh, I can't even see the B-back. And so we had him key the turn of the quarterback, and I talked with our offensive coordinator about, kind of pros and cons to that, and it was what we settled on. You can switch up the keys of the mic and the money as a tag or a change up to your call. If you think the offense is onto those guys and who they're keying, that might be a good thing to have. Our money backer made the most plays when we were thinking when we were sending him on a blitz. He almost became a decoy for us a lot of the times. The offense, this is sort of a unique lineup. And it's definitely different than, if teams were scouting us and they, kind of knew how we played. This is different. This is unique. And so what we found as an adjustment for them was they keyed on him. They tried to make sure that they were blocking him, which is a good adjustment. This is one of our better players. But it actually worked out okay for us if they did that because it freed up other players. Then our outside linebackers, who we called the chain and the buck, they key the B-back step as well. And so if he steps their way, they're attacking their gap/option responsibility. They need to be aware of the A-back's motion and how it relates to the B-back's steps. That helps with how fast they can play the dive or if they can fly to help on the rocket toss. And what I mean by that here, okay, so this is one here where stack. Okay, so the buck and the chain are going to step inside. They're B-gap and dive players, okay? These guys have to know the motion of the A-back. The buck has the motion coming to him, okay? And the B-back is to him, so he knows he's going to fly and attack that dive, okay? The chain has motion going away from him, and the B-back is away from him, so he's slow to go, thinking about some sort of counter or even trap coming back to him, but then he's going to scrape to the center. Now, where that gets different and how we were able to take advantage of these guys and really defend the rocket sweep pretty well. We keyed in on, looking at film. If the B-back is going away and motion is coming to this player, that's when it's the rocket toss or the waggle. Okay, but the buck knows that he has motion coming to him, and then on the snap of the ball, he sees his B-back go away. He knows he doesn't have to worry about dive because the B-back is going away. So now he can fly and attack that rocket now. The chain has motion away, but the B-back to him. So again, he's going to be slow to go. Okay, and he's going to scrape to the center. All right, so here we've got rocket toss is going to be coming to the defense's left here. Okay, the outside linebacker is a little bit slow to react on this, slower than I would have liked here. Okay, this was our buck. Okay, but we've got motion coming to him, and then his B-back steps away, so he should be able to go much faster and go and attack that rocket. Now, he does a good job of getting off that block and pursuing to the inside hip. But we would have, based on our keys, and it's something that we would have talked about on the sideline with our huddle is, based on our keys, he should know that he's got to trigger outside much faster on that one. All right, here's one, and we're going to look at this outside linebacker here. He does a really, really great job of seeing motion coming to him and the B-back away, and he flies right away and makes a really great play running down this rocket toss. Again, if we look motion 2, B-back away, this linebacker knows that he can run to it.